This is the Relaxed Male, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to the Relaxed Male. All right, I am so glad that you were able to make it, and as you notice, things sound a little different. Didn't have the intro, and that is just because, I'm out in the truck again, and we're doing the truck thing once more, and I haven't recorded in the truck in a long old while, so that's where I'm at. And so today, I wanted to talk about friends, and because that is the basis of the man's community pillar. This pillar is important, not just important, it is crucial for a man to have a good, happy, fulfilled life. And his community is not just his band of brothers, but it's also ends up being his wife. It's all those people who he surrounds himself with. But today I wanted to talk about the friends because, especially when you're going through a divorce, one of the biggest problems you will face is that all of a sudden you find out through the 5, 10, 20 years that you've been married, all of a sudden all those quote unquote friends you had, you find out were actually the boyfriends of your wife's friends. And all your good buddies, your pals, your best friends and stuff that you had beforehand have all faded away and had just gone on with their own lives. And so when you try to talk to them again, you try to start up a friendship with them again, you've noticed that they've changed. All of a sudden, the dude who always complained and had the best bud and all that, all of a sudden he's the number one salesman at a major corporation. And you're like, dude, what happened? I thought you were somebody else. So what do we do when we realize we don't have any friends, or we may only have one friend that we kind of consider pretty good? He's not great. He's not the awesome. He's not super duper, but he's pretty good. What do we do then? And that's what I wanted to talk about this week. And that is finding friends. What is it about friends that we need to do? How do we make friends? What do we need to look for in friends? And items like that. So just to jump into the whole thing, I was going to actually start off saying, hey, thanks for all the folks who've been listening. Because, and honestly, I agree. I say thank you very much for coming by and visiting and listening and hearing what we're saying, because we're still growing, and I'm always waiting for the growth to plateau and to fall. We had a little bit of a fall between 2021 and 2022. 2022 was kind of a down year, and I was like, oh, okay, well, apparently I really suck. And I had a moment in there. And then I had a guy actually text me, and I want to say thank you so much to him for listening. And I didn't get his permission to actually divulge anything, so I'm not going to mention his name or anything. But man, it's okay. You're going to get through it. Your wife, you're taking the steps, and that is what's way cool. Keep taking the steps. But this is the reason I'm talking about this is a lot of it is because of what you were saying. You need to find your friends. You need to start building friends. And this is something that is just flat out scary for a lot of us guys, because this requires us to step out of our comfort zone, and we start having a crap ton of thoughts. We start thinking, oh, well, what is my wife going to say if all of a sudden I'm starting going out hanging with other guys, she's already complaining that I don't spend enough time with her. And now I'm going off and running off doing things with guys. And at first she's going to have those types of thoughts. She's going to have thoughts about why you're just being irresponsible by running off with all your friends and leaving her by herself. But yet At the same time, a lot of times she does the same thing. She'll leave the kids with you as she goes and hangs out with her girlfriends. And yeah, a lot of times we kind of forget those little other side details. And it's not something that you need to lay out just so that she ends up getting into a fight with you or anything. It's just, something just to hold into the back of your mind. You're going to need to have a group of friends. And these group of friends are people that you need to talk to on a very regular basis. And when I say regular, I mean once a week. Y'all are all together on a phone, or y'all are sitting down having coffee on, say, Saturday mornings. Y'all all gather at a coffee shop for an hour and have breakfast and coffee, and y'all just talk about what's going on in y'all's lives. For an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, 4 hours, a whole day, it doesn't matter, but you're spending at least some time, at least an hour out of each week, living intentionally with each other. And it sounds kind of odd. I get it. I understand. It's like, holy crap, you want me to live with another guy? No, it's not live with the other guy, but you're living your life. You're showing your life to those other guys. And when I say other guys, not just 2 other guys, not 3, 5 is a good number. If you can get about 10 other guys who y'all all go and y'all meet in the little conference room at the coffee shop every day, every Saturday at 6 o'clock in the morning, good for you. Go do it. Or if y'all all sit down at the big table there at the restaurant and the hotel, if that's what it is, wherever y'all want to meet. It might be over at your house. It might be over at Mike's house, or whoever it is that your friends you've built friends with. Y'all all meet and y'all meet together. And treat this almost as if it's a mastermind. What problem are you having? And everybody goes around and talks about what their problem is. Everybody's talking about what their goals are. Everybody's talking about this, that, and what they're suffering from. What are they struggling with? Tell them, and don't just, when y'all are first getting to know each other, you're not going to have the big things like, well, I caught my wife sleeping with another man yesterday. You're not going to do that type of stuff right off the bat because you're figuring each other out. But as y'all grow with each other, and the new guys that come in, they may come in and kind of meander, be here a week or two, miss a week, be back another couple weeks and miss a week and come back another week and miss 4 or 5 weeks and come back for 5 weeks and then leave. And, some guys are going to be a little inconsistent, but there's always going to be that really big group, nice group of guys who are there for you, time in, time out. Time in, time out. And I've got that set that I talk with on a very regular basis. And this is something that you need also. Well, why are these friends so dang important? Well, these friends are important for a couple of different reasons. One, it's for your mental health. As you're going through a divorce, as you're going through all the trials and tribulations that life is throwing upon you, you're going to need those friends to be there to point out different directions, point out where your line of thinking is causing problems, where it's not quite 100% right. You're going to need those guys going, dude. Yeah, I see where you're pointing, but that's not really a good way to look at it. You might try looking at it this way. Each of you guys will start taking what you believe and the thoughts that y'all have, and you'll share it with each other, and everybody's thoughts will start to amalgamate together, and y'all will start having a new form of thinking, and you'll start pushing each other. They'll start pushing you to start being better, go out and pursue that dream that you had. And you'll also be a part of the ones who are pushing your best friend to go out and to actually take that chance that he's always been talking about. He's talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, but won't ever quite step off. Well, now he's got 9 other guys who are all leaning on him going, dude, you want to take that trip and take the photography, do the drone thing, do all the stuff that you want to do, but you're doing nothing but talking about it. Get out there, take the step, either shit, get off the pot, or stop bitching about it, And these things are what men do. We talk to each other and we live our life, because what happens is when we're sharing our lives with each other and we start sharing all the poor and negative events that have happened in our lives, what happens is these guys will take that negative energy that you're spreading out, that you're taking because what, let me back up a bit. Let's start with your family. You come in, hey, honey, how's it going? Oh, my God, it was a day Junior went off and he shot his sister with this, and I had to take his little soft air pistol away, and this and that, and the dog pooped on the floor, and the cats have been throwing up in the fish tank, and you've got all this mass chaos. I had three flat tires, and my spares were both flat also, and I'm just, I had a day, and then I had Margaret, our next door neighbor, Margaret. She has just become an absolute total Karen, and starts dumping just everything on you. And if you've ever wondered why, if you start dumping back on your wife, all of a sudden you get a different response of, what are you talking about? Why are you sharing all this crap with me? You don't get the support that you normally think you would get. And that is because women don't take negative very well. That's why they look to us men, because us men, we take the negative. They start dumping it all on us. We don't try to fix it. We help them by just listening. Allow all the negative come on. Your son comes along, little Beaver, and he talks about how terrible Wally is to him and all that. And so you take on all the negative energy that he's given. And little sister Susie, sitting on a fence post, comes over here and she gives all her information and all how all the girls in her school are being mean to her and yada, yada, yada. And you even take up the dog. The dog's looking at you like, oh, I didn't mean to poo on the floor. It was just, I had to go, and I had to go bad. And it was the only place I could be because I was playing with the ball too long, and I didn't realize the poo caught up with me. He snuck up on me, I swear. And so you have all this life, and then you've got your boss, and he's throwing his crap on you, and you've got, accounting throwing their stuff on you, and HR and everybody else is throwing all their stuff on you. Eventually, you've got all this negative energy just weighing you down and just making you absolutely miserable. And it starts to wear on you after a while. Now, you have a choice. You can either keep that all to yourself, or you can decide, you know what, I need to let this load off. And you can't just let it off with going to your wife and talking about all of that. No, this is where your band of brothers comes into play. Because you come to them and you start explaining what all's happening in your life, why your wife is having such a hard time. And they're going to give you tips and tricks and ideas and things along those lines. But what they're doing is they're actually taking all that negative energy that has been built up in you. They're taking it off your shoulders and they're putting it onto their shoulders. And as they share it around and they share it with the other guys and the rest of the guys are around, they're all sharing it out. And as guys change it around and swap from one shoulder to the next, and every guy's taking a little bit of a load and then taking that load and handing it off to someone else, and they're equaling out the load, what they're doing is they're also magically taking all that negative energy, turning it back into a positive energy, and giving it back into you. You see, masculinity is such a wonderful, positive experience that many men, especially many of the young men who do not know what masculinity is about, they're going off of what a bunch of women have told them masculinity is. Oh, it's about you guys running around chasing women. Oh, well, we're supposed to be chasing around women. So what do? They chase women, but they don't know what they do or what they're supposed to do when they catch a woman. They don't have the foggiest clue. They think, oh, we're supposed to get naked and bop them. And then, oh, wow, they got pregnant. I wonder how that happened. Well, no one told me about what happened whenever you get a baby pregnant. So I'm just going to go off and go find some other girl and go sleep with. Because now that girl's got a kid. Who wants a girl with a kid? And, there's all this chaos that happens when men don't live life with other men. And that's it. That whole damn thing, just trying to keep it straight in my head, was just an amazing deal. I'm surprised I kept it as straight as I did. I'm going to grab a drink here real quick. Talking way too much, and I don't have a pause button here. So, anyhow, so that's why men are so important in other men's lives. Why you need a band of brothers is because you're going to have a lot of negativity. You're going to have a lot of oppressive thoughts. You're going to have a lot of angry thoughts. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be overwhelmed, especially while going through a divorce, because your soon-to-be ex-wife is going to be trying some really just screwed up stuff from time to time, if not all the time. Yeah, I've seen the Justice for Ella videos here recently, and oh my gosh. If there is not a guy who is trying his damnedest to be a good dad and having the mom do whatever, be a psycho that she's being, this set of videos that I've seen just knocks it out of the park. Because I've seen the video where the little girl, Ella, sees dad. And she's getting all excited, and dad can't hold it back anymore. And so he goes over to hug her. And then somewhere, and I guess this other dude is mom's boyfriend or whatever, but he tries to come in and do a sneaky swoop thing, and dad catches him. And I swear to God, if that guy there is a lot better dad than I am, because I would have gone to jail right then. I would have grabbed the dude by the back of the shirt, or even grabbed the scruff of whatever his little short ass hair on the back of his head was, and I would have driven my left hand deep into his face. I mean, I saw that guy come in for the sneak, and I instantly wanted to, just wanted to. There was just so much anger and frustration that came in with watching that video. And to see the guy going, give me a few moments. And the mom is sitting there, you see in her face, she's like, oh, but how dare you touch my daughter? And the girl just is wailing, crying, clinging on to dad with sheer terror. Now, that is things that, yeah, a woman who is in scarcity mindset, she was going to do she doesn't really give a crap about her daughter when she's in scarcity mindset. And you're going to have to be okay with the fact that she's going to act like this. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to find ways to balance the negativity out. To take that energy, to take that anger, that aggression that you feel building up, and you need to pass it on to somebody. And this guy must have a great support group, because to be able to just sit there and go, I just want to have a moment with my daughter, and just to be there and to be that calm about it. God bless him, because that is a good dad. He knows how he needs to be. And he is a man who knows that he needs to show his daughter the way that a man actually acts. And I hope he's able to get some justice. Get it to where Ella is able to spend time with her dad, because she needs her dad. And with mom acting like that, I'm sure now I don't know. I'm not there. All I see is one side of a video. So I don't know all the other details. Now that could have been edited in a particular way to where, yeah, it looks like it is just some random dude being, trying to protect a girl he had no idea was trying to be protected by. But at the same time, it could be exactly what I saw. My narrative of the whole set of videos that I saw could be right. They could be completely 180 degrees different than what's actually going on. I get that. I understand it. But at the same time, men are needed in the family. And sadly, society doesn't want you in the family, because the moment they can separate the family from the man and the man becomes alienated, then we have a problem with society. Society will not stand unless we have strong, masculine, dependable men in society. And we are everywhere. The only problem is we've been labeled as goofball, we've been labeled as goofball, nuts, idiots, retards, anything else, any other bad word you want to call us. Because women today all want to sit there and go after one particular guy, and it's always the same guy. So we've got to be okay with the fact that there's going to be bad women out there. But also know that there's a lot of good women out there. There's still a lot of positivity out there. And that's why I don't want you to give up on life, on what's going on in your world. And one of the important parts that you need is that set of friends. Because those friends, like in the video for the Ella's videos, if you want to be able to maintain a calm demeanor and be able to stand righteously strong against the oppression like what I think we're seeing in those videos, you've got to have friends. You got to have those bros who are willing to stand behind you and keep you safe from behind. They've got your back, man. And those friends are not going to be the friends who just kind of flitter off. You need your 3 a.m. people. What is the 3 a.m. person? That's the person that you can call up and be 2 states away and go, hey, man, I am broke down. My engine's sitting 10 feet in front of me for some reason, and I'm broke down here on the side of the road. Can you come get me? And he looks at the watch and goes, dude, you do know it's 2 o'clock in the morning, right? It's like, yeah, all right, well, I'll be there in an hour. And sure enough, 3 a.m., he's going to show up. He's going to pick you up. You're going to get everything taken care of, and he's going to come be there for you. Those are the 3 a.m. people. And you need those 3 a.m. people in your lives. Because when you have those 3 a.m. people, you're going to be a 3 a.m. person for them. That's what a support group is. That's what it's like to have men in your corner. You need those men. You need that community. You need that support, especially when you're going through a divorce or going through a tight point. If you're trying to start a business, that's the same thing, man. You need to have these types of friends in your life. So how do you find these friends? Now let's talk about this, because this is the other part that a lot of guys get wrong. They get the guy, oh, he's a good old guy, man. He likes to sit around, and we just sit around and get stoned all the time playing video games. I had a friend who was like that. I ended up losing him as a friend because he had a different friend who spent all his time with this guy. And all they did was sit around and get stoned. That's not my jam. I used to get stoned, but I drive a truck nowadays. I can't get stoned. And I stopped getting stoned even before I started driving a truck. I stopped smoking 2-3 years before. Then I think I stopped smoking smoking back in 2004. Now, while I was off, I ended up having a gummy because I just wanted to see if I remember what it was like. And I could see why a lot of people like to spend a lot of their time stoned out of the gourd, because, that's kind of a weird feeling. I mean, it was bizarre, but interesting. I had a whole circle. I'm not going into it. That's a completely different topic. But what type of friend do you want in your life? If you are wanting men who are determined, you're probably want men who are driven to achieve their goals. Remember what Jim Rohn says: you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. My version is you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most intentional time with. Live your life intentionally with the people who you like, and you look up to. So if you see a guy that you believe is killing it in business, then go out, be a friend, and not just I'm going to be a friend to him so I can learn what he wants. No, be a true friend to him. And that is, a true friendship is a exchange of value. You're a value to him. He is a value to you. This happens no matter what. Everything in life is a transaction. Whether you want to think about it or not, I know a lot of socialists and communists out there think that that's not right. That's not everything has to be a transaction. Yes, everything is a transaction. If it wasn't, then women would just come along, drop your trowels, hop on you, and not expect something in return. You go out and you buy a expensive meal for a girl, you're expecting something in return. We expect something, and that is part of the value for value. You're providing a value, you want something of value in return. Maybe that marriage was, I am going to provide a life for you. You give me children in return. You give me a peaceful house in return. What it is, I don't know. That's all up to you. But you expected something in return. And your girlfriend, wife, whoever, who's now leaving, expected something completely different. And there was a point in that discussion that y'all should have had, needed to have, and didn't have. Could you still have it? Yeah, you might be able to sit down and still have that discussion if y'all are still talking amicably with each other. And it still happens. You can actually still be good friends with your ex. My mom was good friends with my dad. She was good friends with her second husband. She was the only husband that she actually was kind of pissy with and said never come back was her last husband. And I understand, because I'm not a big fan of him either. I have a lot of respect for him because he helped me get my license to drive a truck. But other than that, no. The way he decided to do stuff and some of the outcomes of their divorce, not the biggest of fans. But that's okay, because those are just thoughts. But you need to have men that fit what you want out of life. That is the key part. What do you want out of life? What do you want to do? Are you wanting to become successful in business? Then you need to find men who are successful in business. If you're wanting to know how to have a balanced, healthy life that's athletic, then start living your life with guys who are very healthy in their world. They go to the gym maybe every day, and for you, that may be too much. You're like, oh, dude, I'm going once a week. That's it. That's fine. That's all I can do. Cool. They will get you into looking at life in a better way. And a lot of guys don't understand that, but here's a good way to explain it. Say you are the average man, all right? You don't steal anything. You don't go live any type of life of crime, anything like that. You start hanging around with, say, Bob. And Bob his morals aren't quite up to your level. But he's a cool dude. He's always talking. He acts like he's happy to see you, and it's always cool like that. So y'all get around to talking and all that. And then one day y'all go to the store, and you notice that Bill grabs a handful of Hershey bars, stuffs them in his coat, walks up, pays for a Coke, and then leaves. You're like, dude, you just stole a bunch of candy bars. He didn't call him out while he was at the store, at the register, but afterwards you called him out. It's like, dude, you let your integrity slide just a little bit because you liked Bob. You liked Bob. Well, it goes on, and you notice that he's always taking a handful of something. And he may even come up to you and go, here, put this in your coat. And again, you've let your integrity slide again because you're hanging around with Bob. And so eventually, not only is he going in and stealing a bunch of stuff, but you go off and you grab a 12-pack of beer and you're holding it inside your coat. you're stealing just like him. And it's not bothering you that he's stealing. And that keeps you regressing until eventually you're holding up stores. Now, does that always happen? No. But I'm just saying, you're going to allow, if you don't allow something to happen in your life, it's not going to happen. But if you allow a slack in morality, you're going to be okay with it. Is essentially what's going to be. Oh, I don't like it when he steals. Then say something. Because who knows how far that rabbit hole will go. Eventually, if he's able to talk you into stealing, when's he going to be able to talk you into theft or into murder? Don't know. It may happen. I don't know. Good chance it probably won't, but you're going to slide down. That's how a lot of the gangs get the kids into gangs. Is because they don't have the proper masculine life. They don't have the masculine role models to hold them up and to go, dude, this is a moral thing to be. That is not. There is a black African-American culture. But right now, a lot of America is celebrating the hood culture. And yes, I realize I'm a white dude. Talking, not so good things about the black culture. And no, correction, it's not the black culture. Talking not so good things about the hood culture. Because the hood culture is not a good culture. Look at how wonderful LA has turned these days. Look at how wonderful San Francisco is. Look at how wonderful Seattle is. Look how wonderful Portland is. The West Coast is just, is a freaking tinderbox, ready to go up and smoke with all the crime that's going on. And they're wondering why they can't find anybody to stay. Why are all the good people leaving? Because it's all nothing but crime. They're very single-handedly, very quickly turning a wonderful town like LA and San Francisco and Sacramento and all those other places really quickly turning all that into Detroit. Detroit was the major hub for wealth in America for a long time. And yes, there was a whole lot of black folks that lived there. Now, it is essentially a very large slum. And that is because men have been driven out of that society. Men, society needs you. We all need you. And we need you to start having masculine friends that are noble and righteous. And that's where I want you to start working. Start building those righteous friends. Start calling them a guy and saying, hey, dude, how you doing? Yeah, I got some guys who are meeting together over at the coffee shop at 6 a.m. on Saturdays. Love for you to be there. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. It doesn't show? Okay, then next Friday, right before you're leaving, you find them again. You go, hey, dude, yeah, we're still having that meeting. We're going to all get together. I'd love for you to be there. We're going to have free coffee. I'm paying for the coffee this week. So come on over. We'll have a discussion. We're just talking, just getting to know each other. I'm just trying to build a group of guys who will help each other. Tell them what it's about. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Okay, sweet. I've got guys in a veterans group that I run who I have texted every day for the past year. Going, hey, Dad, yeah, Zoom's open if you can make it. Never has come up. And that's okay. They don't have to. Eventually, they may decide to show up. But then again, they may have just actually just blocked me, and I just don't know. But again, if that's so, that's so. I'm okay with that. But find friends. Start building friends. Start getting a group of guys together. Start meeting on a regular basis, someplace, any place, don't care. That you can have brown water involved if that's what you want. You can also, so you can do it at night if that's what you want. Don't do it to a point where y'all are all completely, totally soused, because you're wanting to learn. You're wanting to grow from this. And to be able to do that, you've got to be able to be with each other and be present with each other. And if you're having to hide yourself with alcohol, something's wrong, and you need to correct that. That might be the point that you actually need to start correcting. So guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you listening. Thank you very much for listening. If there's anything that I said in here that completely resonated, or just even slightly resonated with you, share it out. Share it on the Facebook, Twitter. Take a screenshot, put it on Instagram, tag me on it. I'll jump into the comments, say, at least tell you thank you. I'll have a conversation with whoever wants to have a conversation with me. I'm sitting there throwing stuff up on the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and just about anywhere. I'm having the discussions, and I love having these discussions, and I'd love to be able to hear from you. If you want to be able to get this every week on your phone or at whatever device you listen to it on, you can go to relaxbell.com/subscribe, and that'll give you a list of all the places you can subscribe at. So guys, with that, I want to say thank you very much for listening. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Take care. See you next week. Till then, bye.